when our classmates and our coworkers and our neighbors and people we have grown up near and dear and around, when these families believe that they could lose their jobs and their health care. This is an emergency. And when 122 dreamers are losing DACA status every single day, 851 every week, 11,000 since September, this is an emergency. And we cannot wait. It has been 92 days since this administration made this cruel and reckless decision to end DACA. We cannot wait a day longer. So let's tell them, don't tell us you'll fix this in January. Fix it now. And here's the thing. Let's be clear about the power of the people. We've got the momentum. We've got the momentum. We together have been building coalitions. We have been showing that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. We have been rejecting people who are trying to sow hate and division in this country. We know the best of who we are, and that is our power. That is our power in this fight, and that is what has fueled our momentum and will continue to fuel our momentum. And let's also be clear, we are going to reject the notion that this should be a partisan issue. I was very pleased to see yesterday when more than 30 House Republicans signed a letter calling for a DACA fix by the end of the year. This is the best of who we are. Let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate and thank Senate Republican colleagues, including Senator Flake, for calling for a solution. Let's celebrate these moments that we have, some victory in this fight. Let's recognize that over hundreds of business leaders have urged action, and dreamers have been walking the halls of Congress all of these days, showing their face with courage and requiring people to deal with what this is about. We're not going to let them get away with applying politics and ideology and hate to this issue. Look at our faces, and then you vote your conscience. This is what we are crying. And so I let us end by saying this. History is going to judge us on this issue. History is going to judge us. And so everyone who is not out here right now, but in those halls and being charged with making a decision, must be clear about this. History will judge where you stood at this moment in time. Do the right thing. Thank you.
Senator Harris, thank you so much. Congresswoman Chakowski, please join us for a second. Please join us. Thank you.
I have 15 seconds, so I want to tell you how beautiful you look. Thank you for coming. And when I say, how do you feel today? You say powerful. How do you feel today? I've been an organizer for almost 50 years, and I've never seen such a display of resistance as we're seeing right now. I believe with every cell of my body that when we fight, we win. When we fight, we're going to win this. If we get a vote, and we have to get a vote, we are going to pass the DREAM Act. That's why we're here. That's why we're fighting. Let's pass it. When we fight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias. You heard this one I say, where are the dreamers? Where are the dreamers? I can hear you. Where are the dreamers? Where are the dreamers? Where are the dreamers? Y ahora les quiero presentar a una extraordinaria soñadora de México, miembro de Casa en Acción, es una líder extraordinaria en Baltimore. Maricruz es una extraordinaria líder que no solamente es una soñadora, sino que tiene 3 negocios en Baltimore. Y en su tiempo libre,
Working, do the hard part. Yes. That's why today we got united as one family. We one only voice. What do we want? What do we want? We are demanding. What do we want? Just like Gustavo said, I have a business. Where I have to wake up every morning, take my kids to school, yes, because I have 3 kids. One of them has a disability, which means that if I'm the porter, what's going to happen to him? Do you think he's going to have the same ability to have the attention and education that he's getting now? Do you think that as a mother, is not breaking my heart? How do you feel? How many of us have children? How many of us are thinking about their future? This is not only for us. Think about them. Think about the kids that won't have the same opportunities. Think about the families that today, many of us are being divided by deportation. Think about them. Today, I feel really proud of us, all of us, that we are standing right here fighting for our dreams. We are standing right here fighting for our dreams, our future. This is a country of immigrants. We are the ones who support this country. Imagine that we have a voice. That's why. But on September the 5th, this administration put an expiration date on our dreams. This administration put an expiration date on my business. And not only that, but on my education as well. So I want to become a lawyer. I want to become a lawyer. Now, it's so hard for me to tell you how devastated I am by going to bed every single time, thinking if one day immigration is going to knock my door and my kids have been taken away from me. Do you know how hard it is? I don't know if you have, but I have. Every morning that I go to my kids' room, look at them, just looking at them once again, it really gives me relief.
¡Se puede! Yes, we can! 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 Yes, we can!
Yes, we can! Just remember one thing. We, the dreamers of the United States, got the power. Yes, we do. And I won't stop fighting until I got the security that I need. Until I have a clean dream act that I won't include massive deportation. Because there are others that they don't have this opportunity. We have to include them. My father's as one of them. My brother
fighting for the more than 300,000 people in this country who have been raising families, starting businesses, and building their own communities with temporary protected status. But the Trump administration has canceled TPS for Haiti, right? That's a shame.
All right, folks, we are going to switch gears here, take you out to the American Muslim Leadership Council press conference. They are making a statement from just hours ago on President Trump's move to have the embassy move to Jerusalem in Israel. So we're going to bring that to you right here on News Now.
We didn't hear calls from anybody that is lobbying to actually ask President Trump to follow up on one of his campaign promises, amongst many that he has not fulfilled yet. Why now? Why this? Especially in the midst of us trying to fight the world of radicalization and those fundamentalists. Why now? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You're 13, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm coming tomorrow.
Yeah,
I guess at 9:30 they're doing in Dev.
Yes.
All right, looks like we caught the very tail end of that, so we're going to take it back out to the DACA presser right now.
Go! Hell no, we won't go! The Trump administration has canceled TPS for Sudan, so to that we say, hell no, we won't go! Hell no, we won't go! What do we say all together? Hell no, we won't go! It doesn't matter where you're from, in either country, hell no, we won't go. Right? They have canceled TPS for Nicaragua as well, but to that we say, hell no, we won't go. We won't go and leave our homes, families, and communities. But you know where we will go, right? Where will we go? To Congress. And we will demand justice for the families with TPS. So now, I would like to introduce Erica Lopez de Ramos, right? Erica is a member of the Culinary Workers Union and is speaking today on behalf of Workers Families United, which brings together Unite Here, the painters, UFCW, iron workers, and bricklayers with the backing of the AFL-CIO to fight for the tens of thousands of union members with TPS. So please help me in welcoming Erica.
Good afternoon, brother and sister. My name is Erica Lopez. I come from El Salvador. I'm TPS holder. I come from El Salvador 17 years ago with my 2 kids. And now I have other 2 kids born here. We are here with my brother and sister, the other union, because we want to say to Trump and the Congress, stand fight with the immigrant, stand fight with the families. We need work and live with dignity and respect. That's why we are here, everybody. We make great America. We represent America. We represent hard workers, casino workers, labor workers, laundry workers. We represent painters. We make buildings. We make hospitals. We make the hotels. That's why we are here. I know different than everybody here because my brother and sister, the different unions in different countries, is in the same fight with me. We fight with this government because this government, they want separate my family. I had 2 kids born here. I can take the decision to separate my family. I had 2 children, TPS holder, and to work here. I can take the decision to leave my family here. And my situation is the same as 1,000 family. We represent 320,000 families. And we don't stop fight with this government. We want live with dignity. We want peace. We want peace in USA. We are America. I worked for 40 years in the laundry. And now I have my dream already. I work for Culinary Union 226. And I don't want that this president broke my dream. Because I hard work 14 years for bring food and my family. I support my family. I can't stop fight with everybody. I want to ask you something. You fighting for your family? ¿Se puede? ¿Se puede? ¿Que sí se puede? ¿Que sí se puede? Thank you so much. We are union. We are union. We are union. We are America. We are America. We are America. Great again. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerica. Thank you very much. Unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Thank you very much. And now it's my honor to welcome Lily Escalcin Garcia. She's the president of the National Education Association, the nation's largest labor union with 3 million educators, serving children such as 11 years old Jasmine, who is joining Lily on the stage with other children of We Belong Together, who have either a parent who is a DACA or TPS status. So let's go and welcome Lily. Thank you very much. Lily.
Buenas tardes a todos. What a beautiful day to pass the DREAM Act. Let's do that. For absolutely no reason in this whole world, Donald Trump ended the protected status of our dreamers on September 5th. And it was working. Businesses knew it was working. Universities knew it was working. Communities knew it was working. Public schools knew it was working. Over 20,000 dreamers. Since the DREAM Act passed, were able to become teachers. 20,000 dreamers working as educators in America's public schools. Donald Trump ended the protected status for our dreamers because he is heartlessly using our dreamers and their families for political purposes. He lied when he said he was going to give Congress time to act. Don't worry, be happy. He told us that the dreamers would be safe for 6 months, and he knew that was a lie. Every day, 122 dreamers lose their protected status. This means they lose their job. It means they lose a scholarship. They're not able to close on that house they wanted to buy. They get kicked out of the military. Every day, 122 more lives
are in jeopardy of deportation, of being sent to some for-profit prison detention center so somebody makes money on their misery, and they're separated from their families and from the country that they love. Over 10,000 dreams have been crushed by Donald Trump since he struck down DACA, and I am here to shout that Donald Trump does not represent our American values. Since the first immigrants, the Pilgrims, landed on the Mayflower, we've been that place that welcomed the poor, the tired, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. El tratamiento de los inmigrantes en Estados Unidos refleja los valores que nos definen como nación. Salvo los indígenas, somos todos de inmigrantes, no? We're all from immigrant families, unless you're an American Indian or an Alaska Native. Being that welcoming country defines who we are. And those tired, poor, huddled masses don't stay tired, poor, huddled masses. They become our neighbors. They become our co-workers. They become taxpayers. They become us. And we become better because of that. Somos una nación que abraza a los soñadores y sus talentos porque somos muy listos. We're smart, and that's why we love our dreamers. I'm a teacher. I know you embrace the whole child. We embrace the whole community. And we see Donald Trump turning his back on the incredible talent represented by our dreamers. We know he is not very smart. When we see him putting their lives in danger, we know he has no heart, ni un corazón. And we know that we will not be silent. We believe we right now, right here, today, have enough Republicans and enough Democrats to pass the DREAM Act right now. 30 Republicans have signed a letter asking that it be brought to the floor. We have the votes. There are only 2 people standing in the way of those votes. Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House, has got to hear us. Mitch McConnell, Leader of the Senate, has got to hear us. If we cannot get a vote on a clean DREAM Act, there are 3 people in this world to blame. Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell for not bringing it to the floor when it would have passed, and Donald Trump for canceling DACA in the first place. And we will raise our voices. Seguiremos levantando nuestras voces en un coro colectivo para la justicia. We will raise our voices in a collective chorus to defend our dreamers. We are here out of pure love, and love will trump hate. Mil gracias, hermanos y hermanas.
And now, Jasmine wants to read a letter that she wrote to the Congress. Go ahead, Jasmine, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Lopez. I am 11 years old, and I am a U.S. citizen. My mommy is a dreamer. I am very terrified. I don't want to lose her. On December 22nd, she will not have her DACA status anymore, and she will be at risk of a deportation. If Congress doesn't take action now, I won't have my mommy for the holidays. Why is this important to me? Because I won't be able to greet my mommy every morning with a big hug and a kiss. I won't have anyone to help me with my homework. I won't have my mommy to bring my hopes up every time I'm feeling down. And I won't have her to give me kisses, hugs, and love. Nor her comforting hands drops my daddy off to work because my daddy is undocumented and is not allowed to drive. In order for my mommy and my daddy to be together with me, we need Congress to pass the DREAM Act for my mommy and the immigration reform for my daddy. This will also help my mommy complete her dream of being a dentist and help people in need. So please, put in a vote so that all of these things continue my childhood and not end it. As an American U.S. citizen, I have the constitutional right to have the pursuit of happiness. And without the DREAM Act and the immigration reform, I am not fulfilling that. I'm here today because my mommy's DACA expires on December 22nd, the same day Congress will vote. All I want for Christmas is Congress to pass the DREAM Act and the immigration reform. This will be a Christmas miracle for all immigrant families. Thank you. Yes.
¡Sí se puede! 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 ¡Sí se puede!
All right, everyone. So we're here, we're amplifying our voices and our collective voices in solidarity with one another, but we must take action, right? It's time for us to act. It's not enough for us to send a tweet. It's not enough for us to live stream. It's not enough for us to put up a status. We must actually get out on the ground and mobilize. But first, we must talk to our members of Congress, the people who are going to be making the decision on behalf of 11.5 million people. Because whether or not immigrants classify themselves as DACA recipients or TPS recipients, a vote that takes place in December will impact the remainder of the immigrant community as well as the future of immigrants who want to immigrate to this nation. So we must be very impactful and mindful about how we move forward. So what we would like you to do, take out your phones. Take out your phones. You all have them in your hands. You're tweeting. Let's go. We want you all to
Por favor, saquen su teléfono.
We want you to call 1-888-704-9446. And I think you all know what to do. You all were chanting earlier. Okay, we're going to do it more times, and we'll also do it in Spanish. So let me do it again. 888-704-9446. Is that okay? Okay, we're going to do it in Spanish.
Entonces levantemos el teléfono y vamos a llamar a este número. 888-704-9446. And you know what exactly you need to do. Necesitamos decirle al Congreso, we want Clean Dream Act now and legislation, TPS legislation now. Eso es lo que le tenemos que decir.
Thank you so much. You all can call.
Hello, everybody. We're here with my favorite senator, the great senator from the state of Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren. There is an enormous amount of stuff that is going on right now. It gets a little bit complicated. Stay with us. We got a lot of work to do. Let me begin by asking Elizabeth her sense of what happened at 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday, the tax bill passed by the Republicans. Elizabeth?
Well, so the Republicans rammed through a tax bill. Nobody even really had time to read it, but we got the general outlines. And the general outlines were giant giveaways for big corporations and for billionaires paid for on the backs of working families, on the backs of students, on the backs of people who get up every day and work hard for a living and try to live paycheck to paycheck. It's, robbed from working people to give to the wealthy.
When you go back to Massachusetts, and have gone back there, do you find all kinds of people saying, Elizabeth, what you have got to do is provide massive tax breaks to billionaires, lower the corporate tax rates so that companies in Massachusetts can leave the state to go to foreign countries? And by the way, Elizabeth, you better raise taxes for working families or we're not going to vote for you. Is that what you're hearing back home?
No, that's actually not what I'm hearing back in Massachusetts. In fact, Bernie, that's what really gets me about this. I hear from working families back in Massachusetts, but I also hear from small businesses who say, I don't get to take advantage of that stuff. I don't have tax accounts in the Cayman Islands. I don't offshore my manufacturing. People who are just tired of having the playing field tilted against them. And the Republicans have said, big problem, so we're going to make it worse.
And by the way, for all of you who are hedge fund managers planning to set up residency in the Virgin Islands, do we have something for you?
Yeah, there you go.
We got a deal for you.
Unbelievable.
But if you are a middle-class person, the expectation is that at the end of 10 years, you're going to be paying more in taxes. And there's another part of this whole thing that bothers me very, very much. I think all of you will recall that during the presidential campaign, Donald Trump said over and over and over again, he's a different type of Republican. He is not going to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Literally, minutes after they pass this disastrous bill in the Senate, the discussion escalates. Of course, they're going to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. And you know why? This is shocking. The deficit is
deficit's going up. That's right. That's right. So they want to run up the deficit and then say a high debt is the reason that we've got to cut
Can you believe this?
all the things for working people.
I mean, it is...
But here's the part that really gets... I mean, we could do this all day, but the part that really gets to me about this is why do this? I mean, why would anyone say, let's tax working families in order to give...
This is a Fox 10
I'm just going to leave that up.
All right, folks, welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream, part of Fox10Phoenix.com. Taking a live look here of a small plane crash in Missouri. We're just getting this feed in right now, and we'll get some details here for you. This is in Missouri. You could see this very small plane crash right now, and not a good sign as they have the tarp up there. As you're seeing here, the wreckage for the very first time. We'll try to get you some details here, but not looking too good right here. All right, folks, and according to local media reports here, the emergency crews said they are responding to this reported plane crash near the Spirit of St. Louis Airport in Chesterfield. The plane crashed in the BP parking lot near the intersection of Long Road and Chesterfield Airport Road. The plane is reported to be a small passenger aircraft. As you can see here, it's not known how many people were on board during the time of the crash. No other information right now immediately available. As you can imagine, very fluid situation out there, but just definitely does not look good from the look that we are getting here, especially with the tarp on top. Yeah, as you can see here now, folks, we are getting the aerials here. And you can see right there by this gas station. I mean, can you imagine if you were pumping your gas there and you just heard and saw that crash right there near the street? That must have been very terrifying for the people that were at that gas station or even on the road there. This coming just days after one person was killed in an ultralight plane crash. That was happening on December 4th in St. Joseph, Missouri. One person died in that plane crash. So there's been a couple of plane crashes in the last couple of days here in Missouri, in the Show Me State, and we're hoping for the very best, but it just doesn't look good here with this kind of situation. You can see that they had the foam out there to put out the fire, but not a good look here. All right, folks, and if you're just joining us here, welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream. Still don't know if how many people were aboard of this plane here. Not looking too good in Chesterfield, Missouri. You can see right here in the parking lot of that BP gas station, right off to the side there. They do have the police tape up, and they have the situation under control. Right now, it looks like they're more just in a cleanup phase at this time. And this is near the Spirit of St. Louis Airport. So we don't know if this was on approach or if this was during a takeoff. And according to our affiliate, Fox 2 in St. Louis, this is the report that they have right now, the Spirit of St. Louis Airport, police responding to a nearby gas station that you can see here, the BP gas station, following this report of the plane crash. The crash occurred just before 3 p.m. local time there. An employee at the gas station reported that the plane crashed just in the parking lot. An eyewitness said the plane was fully engulfed in flames. The fire was extinguished and firefighters spread a gray tarp over the front portion of the aircraft. Air traffic controllers temporarily closed the Spirit of St. Louis Airport. The airport was reopened just 25 minutes after that crash. And welcome to our viewers just joining us here on Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live. We are covering this plane crash for you in Missouri. This is in Chesterfield, Missouri. This crash happening near the Spirit of St. Louis Airport. Right now, we don't know the condition there of the pilot or if there was a passenger, but it does not look good from this vantage point as there is a tarp over the aircraft. Witnesses say that it was fully engulfed in flames. And those witnesses that were right near the scene here, near this gas station. So obviously, people in the area have been warned to just avoid the area, as it's going to be shut down for quite some time, as there will be an investigation to see what exactly happened. The Spirit of St. Louis Airport is a public airport located about 17 miles west of the Central Business District of St. Louis in St. Louis County, Missouri. The airport does have two parallel runways. More of a regional type of situation there. Okay, and we are getting some news updates from a Fox reporter there, from our affiliate there, Fox 2 in St. Louis, and we are learning that there is at least one fatality, unfortunately, at least one fatality for this crash. All right, folks, and if you're just joining us here on Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live or fox10phoenix.com, we are streaming live. Breaking news here for you in Chesterfield, Missouri. At least one dead, unfortunately, in this plane crash. You could see it was right near that gas station. So can you imagine if you were pumping gas or going to the convenience area and coming out and you just see and hear this loud explosion, and then seconds later, fully engulfed in flames. I mean, your heart would sink. So look, we are learning that at least one dead. We don't know if there was anybody else inside that plane during the crash. And you can see right there on the top of the canopy there for the gas station that it was clipped. It looked like maybe he was trying to go onto the roadway and try to land somehow on the roadway and clipped the top of that canopy and just went down hard. You can see as we're getting just a better look here from Skyfox high up in the air, you can see that foam was sprayed to try to get the fire out. Obviously that succeeded, but damage has been done here. Unfortunately, one person dead. We don't know if there was any passengers associated with this plane, but you're taking a look here of the plane crash that happened really close to the BP gas station here in Chesterfield, Missouri, not too far away from the Spirit of St. Louis Airport. For those of you just joining us here on the Fox 10 and News Now stream or Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live, you can see here this plane crash here in Missouri, Chesterfield, Missouri. At least one dead. We don't know if there was any passengers associated with this flight, but obviously it went down. We have one person dead, unfortunately. You can see crews here continuing to take a look at the plane. Now, obviously, with the tarp here, it's pretty likely that they have not been able to remove the body yet. So that might be why Skyfox is just not zooming in right now, because it looks like they crews are going to maybe move the body here, unfortunately. For those of you just checking in here, unfortunately, a sad sight to see here. At least one person has died. It's probably just one person. It looks like a one-seater plane there. Chesterfield, Missouri, with this plane crash just near this BP gas station, not too far away from the airport. Let's see if Sky Fox will show the airport. So we don't know, though, if it was on approach or takeoff that this situation happened. You could see it clip the canopy area. It just hit that canopy area of the gas station, then went down. Witnesses say that it immediately was engulfed in flames, and now we are getting ground shots out of Ventura, California. Wildfires. So thanks so much for joining us here on the Fox 10 News Now stream for that news alert in Missouri. All right, and for those of you on fox10phoenix.com, we're going to go to much happier news now, as we are going to be awaiting the 2017 U.S. Capitol Christmas tree lighting. That's coming up at the top of the hour here. And for those of you wondering, the 2017 tree is an Engelmann spruce tree, and it is from the Kootenai National Forest in Montana. And the tradition of the Capitol Christmas tree, or the People's Tree, began in 1964 when Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives John McCormack placed a live Christmas tree on the Capitol lawn. This tree lived 3 years before succumbing to wind and root damage. In 1970, the Capitol architect asked the U.S. Forest Service to provide a Christmas tree. Since then, a different national forest has been chosen each year to provide the People's Tree. The National Forest also works with state forests to provide companion trees that are smaller Christmas trees for offices in Washington, D.C. The Kootenai National Forest is a national forest located in the far northwestern section of Montana and the northeasternmost lands in the Idaho panhandle of the United States. And the National Forest is located overwhelmingly, almost 95%, in Lincoln County, Montana, but it extends into neighboring counties in descending order of forest land area. They are Flatland County in Montana, Bonner and Boundary counties in Idaho, and Sanders County in Montana. The Kootenai National Forest was established in 1907 and has 2.2 million acres. And it looks like the ceremony is about to begin. Let's all listen in and enjoy.
Good evening, and welcome to the 53rd Annual Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony at the United States Capitol. I'm Stephen Ayers, architect of the Capitol, and it's an honor for me to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for this annual event. The music tonight has helped create a joyous and festive atmosphere here on the West Front lawn. And I'd like to extend a special thank you to the President's own United States Marine Band under the direction of Captain Ryan Nowlin. Please join me in sharing our appreciation. Thank you. Winston Churchill once said, "Christmas is a season not only of rejoicing, but of reflection." So tonight we rejoice in the merriment of the occasion and take a moment to reflect on the history and tradition of having a Christmas tree here at the Capitol. It all began in 1964 when the 8th architect of the Capitol, George Stewart, at the suggestion of then Speaker of the House, John McCormick, established the annual tradition of decorating a tree. By 1970, the United States Forest Service had joined in the holiday festivities by providing a Capitol Christmas tree from one of America's spectacular national forests. This year, the Kootenai National Forest in Montana graciously provided this magnificent Engelmann spruce behind me to serve as the 2017 Capitol Christmas tree. Woo is right. In keeping with our tradition, the Speaker of the House, the Honorable Paul Ryan, will share his holiday greeting with you tonight and officially light this tree. But before we get to that moment, I want to welcome our members of Congress, our distinguished guests, our Capitol Hill neighbors, and all of you that are visiting the nation's capital today. We are so happy that you've chosen to join us in celebrating this most wonderful time of year on the West Front of the Capitol. Joining me this evening are members of the Montana delegation, Senator John Tester, Senator Steve Daines, and Congressman Greg Gianforte. And this gorgeous Engelmann spruce is a gift from the great state of Montana. The handmade ornaments from recycled materials were crafted by children and other communities throughout the Big Sky country. And speaking of ornaments, each year the United States Capitol Historic Society presents a wonderful ornament for us to place upon this tree. So now it's my pleasure to introduce the President of the United States Capitol Historic Society, the Honorable Ronald A. Saracen. Good to see you, Ron.
Thank you, Stephen. And ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure, the United States Capitol Historical Society, to once again participate in this event and add an ornament to the tree. This ornament is one of our annual ornaments that we do every year and are available for sale, I might add. But this one is made from the marble that came off the east front steps that were laid down in 1865 and removed in 1995 when they became so worn and cracked that they had to be replaced. And we were fortunate enough to have some of the marble, and so the marble is ground up, a resin is added, and then it is cast. And so here we have a model of the United States Capitol, which I will leave here for you to present or place on the tree, Stephen. And
thank you so
very
much, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you again.
My pleasure. The United States Forest Service and the architect of the Capitol have partnered for more than 4 decades to bring a Christmas tree to the United States Capitol.
Each year, the Forest Service selects one of our nation's marvelous national forests to provide a spectacular tree to grace the West Front lawn and showcase the diversity of trees around our country. These stately and majestic trees do not disappoint. I'd like to thank all of the dedicated Forest Service staff from the Kootenai National Forest in Montana and those that are here in Washington who helped make this event possible, including the United States Forest Service Chief, Tony Took, who we are pleased to have with us this evening. We truly appreciate your commitment to spread the holiday cheer from the Kootenai to the Capitol. Joining us tonight is the Honorable Sonny Perdue, Secretary of the United States Department of Agriculture. Secretary Perdue came by his knowledge of agriculture the old-fashioned way. He was born into a farming family, and he's an avid outdoorsman, so I'm sure he can confirm that this is one of the best trees to ever serve as the Capitol Christmas tree. Secretary Perdue?
Thank you, Architect Ayers, and it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, is it not? Look at this beautiful view here as we stand on the west grounds of the beautiful historic Capitol building and framed with this beautiful Ingerman spruce from the Kootenai National Forest, from the U.S. Department of Agriculture representing our United States Forest Service. I'm honored to participate in this event and thank our friends from Montana and thank our delegation there and the ones who made all this possible, from our U.S. Forest Service people in the forest, but all through the whole transportation to the Capitol. It's been a glorious thing. This tree is called the Beauty of the Big Sky. Would you agree? Isn't that lovely? 79 feet tall. And I just learned this evening that our architect of the Capitol, Mr. Speaker, not only is a good architect of the Capitol, but he personally picked out this tree. So let's give our architect Ayers a big hand for a great selection of this beautiful tree. So as the Speaker officially opens this Christmas season on the west grounds of the Capitol, let's just rejoice in our freedom and our liberty and in the beauty that we have in this great country. We thank again the Big Sky and our delegation here for allowing us to participate with the U.S. Forest Service and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. I'm honored to share this beautiful season with you. As we light the tree tonight, let's remember our blessings and again pray God's blessings upon our nation. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. The United States Forest Service delivered this tree to the West Front a little more than a week ago. And when it arrived, our dedicated Capitol grounds crew at the Architect of the Capitol went to work decorating it with thousands of lights and hung the beautiful handmade ornaments delivered from Montana. Didn't they do a fantastic job? I'd particularly like to thank Ted Bechtel, who personally picked out the tree. He's our Capitol Grounds Superintendent, and Ted had the very difficult task of picking this one tree out of the millions from the beautiful trees in the Kootenai National Forest. Now know that this is Ted's 13th Capitol Christmas tree and his last, as he will retire in January. So let's give him a great round of applause for his work. Thank you, Ted. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce the members of the Montana Congressional Delegation. First up is the Honorable John Tester, the third-generation Montana farmer and former school teacher. As Montana's senior senator, he is the sponsor of this year's Capitol Christmas tree. Senator Tester has worked with local stakeholders and federal officials all year long to ensure that this Christmas celebration has Montana's fingerprints all over it. Senator Tester.
Stephen, I'm just really glad that you didn't rescind the honorable stuff. I appreciate that. Look, it is great to be here. It is true honor to be standing in front of you, in front of the People's Tree. This Christmas tree not only represents the strength of our holiday spirit, it represents the strengths of the nation and our great state of Montana. Take a moment, look up. It is no surprise that this tree came from the Treasure State. Take note of the top of the tree. That copper star was designed and built in Montana with Montana copper, the same copper, I might add, that wired this country. Traveling all across this nation, from the Kootenai National Forest in northwest Montana, this tree symbolizes our state's incredible natural resources. It is also a symbol of strong, hard-working Montanans. From Pete Talmadge, who cut this Engelmann spruce, to Larry Speakmeyer, who drove 3,500 miles across this country dressed in red and everybody thought he was Santa Claus, to Ridley Brandmeier. Ridley is a sixth grader from Bozeman, Montana. In a few minutes, Ridley, with the help of the speaker, will light this tree up in this nation. Ridley recently lost his fingers in a tragic accident, but despite this adversity, Ridley has continued to show incredible strength and determination to pursue his passions of hunting and fishing. And word has it, Mr. Director, if you ever take cellos, he plays a pretty mean cello. Look, Ridley, someday, who knows, you may even be a senator, okay? Look, this tree is literally grown in Montana for decades, and during brutal fire seasons, braving harsh winters, reaching the height of almost 80 feet, it probably provided shelter for bald eagles and shade for elk. This tree didn't grow on its own, though. It had roots that reached deep and nourished by Montana's rich soil and sustained by clean mountain water. Once it was picked to be the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree, folks from across Big Sky country came together to decorate it with handmade ornaments, especially the students from Billings Head Start, some of which are here with us today. This tree is more than a symbol of the natural resources of the Treasure State. It is our shared history, intertwined with our outdoor heritage and our Montana values. It is an example of what happens when this nation works together toward a common goal. It is a symbol of unity this Christmas season. So, on behalf of every Montanan, I want to wish America a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Senator Tester. Senator Steve Daines, a fifth-generation Montanan. He was elected Montana's United States Representative in 2012 and to represent Montana in the United States Senate in 2014. Senator Daines.
Well, thank you, Stephen. This is a proud Montana moment for a kid from Montana. I'm looking out at the Washington Monument on one end, and on the other end, I have that beautiful spruce tree. This is a great moment for Montana and for our nation. It is always good to have more Montana here in Washington, D.C. I think this nation would be a better place if D.C. looked a little bit more like Montana, and it does tonight. Especially a beautiful Montana tree from the Kootenai National Forest. I want to thank all the Montanans who worked so hard to bring the Capitol Christmas tree over 3,000 miles from the very farthest northwest corner of Montana to Washington, D.C., including the Kootenai National Forest team and all our elected officials who are here tonight. And I, too, want to give a special shout-out to Larry, I guess we'll call you Larry Santa Claus, Speaker Meyer, who drove that truck the entire way. Thank you, Larry. From the branches to the 3,500 ornaments to that Bitterroot star at the top. This gift from Montana will light up the Capitol grounds during the Christmas season for our entire nation to enjoy. I also want to recognize all the Montanans who took the time to come to D.C., because we've had a lot of them here this week, to be here for the special event to see this magnificent tree that represents Montana so well. A tree that stands tall and represents so much of the joy and the hope that's found in Christmas. And Ridley, I got to say something. I found out Ridley and I went to the same grade school in Bozeman. Ridley went to kindergarten through 5th grade. When I went there a long time ago, Ridley, I went to kindergarten through 4th grade. But our kids went to the same middle school as Ridley. It's from my hometown of Bozeman. And I also want to say this in conclusion. If there's any service members from Montana, either here or watching from afar, as Montanans, we are proud of this tree, but we're even prouder of you. And I want to thank you for our service to our great country. It is an honor to represent Montana and to be here tonight as my sweet wife, Cindy, of 31 years, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas on behalf of Big Sky Country.
Thank you, Senator Daines. Sworn into Congress in 2017, Congressman Greg Gianforte represents the entire Montana, or the entire state of Montana, in the United States House of Representatives. Congressman Gianforte.
Thank you, Stephen. It is an honor to be here tonight. Merry Christmas, America. On behalf of all of Montanans, allow me to wish you a very Merry Christmas. Thank you, everyone from across this great land who helped bring this beautiful Engelmann spruce from Kootenai National Forest here to our capital. Larry, I know you have your cheering section. But thank you for transporting this tree all the way here to Washington, D.C. And to the Forest Service folks who helped select and lead the process from the Kootenai National Forest, thank you to you as well. I want to give a special shout out to Brad and Carly Brendenson of Split Mountain Metals that built this star on the top of this thing. They've been married just 2.5 years. They're starting a business in Belgrade, Montana, and they did a great job on this star. I hope it shines bright for a long time. So this 80-foot tree is small. Well, maybe not so small. Piece of Montana that reflects the beauty and the wonder of our state and our natural resources. We're honored to share it with all Americans and the world during this Christmas season. May the people's tree from under Montana's big sky be a sign of good cheer. May it and the star adorning it serve as a beacon of hope that brings us together. May your Christmas be special, blessed with the warmth of family and friends, good health, and good cheer. Thank you. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Thank you, Congressman. It's now my great privilege to introduce the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Paul Ryan has served the people of the 1st Congressional District of Wisconsin since 1999. He became Speaker in 2005 and continues the tradition of lighting the Capitol Christmas tree. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Paul Ryan.
Thank you so much, Stephen. I really appreciate that. First of all, I just want to congratulate everybody who made this work and brought this together. I want to thank the whole Montana delegation. I saw Ryan Zinke up here earlier as well. So I want to thank the Montana delegation. A moment like this, when you get to show off some of the best that your state has to offer, it's a fantastic moment. So Montana, thank you and congratulations. You know, at the end of every year, no matter how short or how long it may feel, there is always Christmas. Waiting for us is that sense of wonder that the shepherds felt when the angels appeared in the night sky to herald the birth of a Savior. After hearing this news, the shepherds knew that they had to go see for themselves what this was all about. Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that happened, they said. That is the true spirit of Christmas. That is what we reflect upon here. Amid our cares and troubles, we gather to see for ourselves that the light overcomes the darkness. We seek the joy and the good in the world. We give back to those who are in need. We give a hand to those who are in pain. We see that the glory of God shines all around us and brings us closer to one another. These gifts, they never dim our hearts. They are always there. All we need is a little bit of light, of course. A little Christmas to guide our past. With that, we get to come to the best part. It is clear that this year's tree represents the full heart and the full spirit of the Big Sky State. From the gratitude of the driver that I keep hearing about, Larry Speakmeyer of Plains. I got to meet you, Larry. He called it the crown jewel of his career. To the hope and the perseverance of our official tree lighter, 11-year-old Ridley Brandmeier of Bozeman. Ridley, please come up here. Over on this side, Ridley. So with us tonight are Ridley's parents, Emily and Brent, as well as your younger brother Ross is here, right?
Yep.
Ridley is a 6th grader at Sacagawea Middle School, and I want to give right now a big shout out and a big hello to the students and the teachers at Sacagawea Middle School. Merry Christmas. I know they're watching. So it says here that Ridley enjoys fly fishing, skiing, hunting, soccer, competitive swimming, playing cello, and reading. So Ridley, thank you for carving out a little time for us here today. You are a very busy young guy. So tonight, on behalf of the good people of Montana, Ridley offers a holiday greetings to all Americans. We're going to count down, and Ridley is going to light up this beautiful tree from Montana. So you ready, Ridley? Do you see the switch?
That one?
That one right there. Oh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Today! Dude, nice job, man.
What a spectacular tree. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming to tonight's ceremony and for joining Speaker Ryan, the Montana delegation, the Forest Service, the Department of Agriculture, the President's own Marine Band, and young Ridley in lighting the United States Capitol Christmas tree. Please enjoy a safe and joyous holiday season. Good night.
There you have it. What a beautiful tree and beautiful ceremony there. It's the 2017 Capitol Christmas tree, the west lawn of the U.S. Capitol. A journey for this tree, decades in the making, 79 feet tall, and a 3,500-mile journey from Montana to D.C. for now the whole country to enjoy. And we continue to show you these live aerials all day today out of Southern California, where the wildfires continue to rage on. And you can see as crews not only on the ground but air support as well, trying their very best to try to get some kind of containment, Ventura County, California. Hundreds of homes destroyed, thousands had to evacuate, and you're watching the air support right now. In the meantime, we are going to get you back out to the Warren and Sanders event, talking about what they call not enough justice for the middle class when it comes to the tax cuts. Let's listen in for a little bit. We'll take any breaking news that we get.
Hello, everybody. We're here with my favorite senator, the great senator from the state of Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren. There is an enormous amount of stuff that is going on right now. It gets a little bit complicated. Stay with us. We got a lot of work to do. Let me begin by asking Elizabeth her sense of what happened at 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday, the tax bill passed by the Republicans. Elizabeth?
Well, so the Republicans rammed through a tax bill. Nobody even really had time to read it, but we got the general outlines. And the general outlines were giant giveaways for big corporations and for billionaires, paid for on the backs of working families, on the backs of students, on the backs of people who get up every day and work hard for a living and try to live paycheck to paycheck. It's, robbed from working people to give to the wealthy.
When you go back to Massachusetts and have gone back there, do you find all kinds of people saying, Elizabeth, what you have got to do is provide massive tax breaks to billionaires, lower the corporate tax rates so that companies in Massachusetts can leave the state to go to foreign countries? And by the way, Elizabeth, you better raise taxes for working families or we're not going to vote for you. Is that what you're hearing back home?
No, that's actually not what I'm hearing back in Massachusetts. In fact, Bernie, that's what really gets me about this. I hear from working families back in Massachusetts, but I also hear from small businesses who say, I don't get to take advantage of that stuff. I don't have tax accounts in the Cayman Islands. I don't offshore my manufacturing. People who are just tired of having the playing field tilted against them. And the Republicans have said, big problem, so we're going to make it worse.
And by the way, for all of you who are hedge fund managers planning to set up residency in the Virgin Islands, do we have something for you?
Yeah, there you go.
We got a deal for you.
Unbelievable.
But if you are a middle-class person, the expectation is that at the end of 10 years, you're going to be paying more in taxes. And there's another part of this whole thing that bothers me very, very much. I think all of you will recall that during the presidential campaign, Donald Trump said over and over and over again, he's a different type of Republican. He is not going to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Literally, minutes after they pass this disastrous bill in the Senate, the discussion escalates. Of course, they're going to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. And you know why? This is shocking. The deficit is
deficit's going up. That's right. That's right. So they want to run up the deficit and then say a high debt is the reason that we've got to cut.
Can you believe this?
All the things for working people.
I mean, it is.
But here's the part that really gets, we could do this all day, but the part that really gets to me about this is why do this? Why would anyone say, let's tax working families in order to give giant tax breaks to billionaires? And the answer is because their billionaire donors want that. This is nothing but payoff. I have to say, Bernie, I thought the whole game was over, just going to be totally over a couple of weeks ago, when the Republican congressman steps up and says, hey, I've been told by my donors that if we don't deliver on this tax deal, they've said, don't call me back. That when they went on the Sunday talk shows and said, yeah, our corporate donors really want this. The money's going to dry up for the Republicans if they don't deliver huge tax giveaways to billionaires and set up that the government will cut its basic support on Social Security, on Medicare, on Medicaid.
This is what the Koch brothers and other billionaires have been dreaming about for years.
Yeah, dreaming about and working on.
Spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. So what we saw at 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday was the corruption of a campaign finance system and a political system now, which is almost completely controlled by billionaires and large campaign contributors. Nobody, no poll out there comes close to suggesting that this is what the American people want. But what Elizabeth said is the simple truth. The American people don't want tax breaks for billionaires, but the billionaires do. And the next step is to try to destroy the entire safety net of this country, which has protected the needs of the elderly, the children, the sick, and the poor, and working families since FDR.
Yep.
That's where we are right now. And I hope everybody knows that, and I hope everybody is prepared to stand up and fight back, because we are at a pivotal moment, and we have got to win this struggle. All right, let me get to something else right now. Elizabeth, you are more than aware, as I am, that the federal government is going to run out of money on Friday.
Yep.
Unless Congress passes a new spending bill.
Right. And we've known about this deadline for a long time. But instead of focusing on it, Republicans have been working on this tax bill, trying to pay off their big donors. And they have been on the attack after working families. So what we're now doing is we're saying back to these Republicans, it's time for you to do your job.
That's right. Now, I don't have to explain, we don't have to explain to anybody who's watching the enormous problems facing this country. We could spend 5 hours talking about that.
5 days. 5 weeks.
All right. But let's tick off some of the urgent measures that need to be dealt with literally in the next couple of weeks. Elizabeth?
Right. Well, we need to work to keep the government open.
Right.
Right? We also got to pass the DREAM Act, the Clean DREAM Act right now.
Let's talk about that just for a moment. I hope everybody knows what we are talking about when we discuss the DREAM Act. What Trump wants to do is to end the legal protection for some 800,000 young people, beautiful young people, who came to this country at a very young age. Some of them are in university, some of them in the military. Many of them have good and important jobs, which are an essential part of our economy.
Right.
And Trump is ending that program, and it's absolutely imperative that in the Congress we protect the legal status of those folks.
Right. You know, our country made a promise to these young people a few years back and said, if you come out of the shadows, if you register, if you're vetted, then we're going to help you. You can get an education, you can get a job, you can serve in the military, you can follow your dreams. America honors its promises, and that's what the DREAM Act is all about. Donald Trump broke that promise, but Congress has the chance to put that promise back in place and give our young dreamers, people, you know, many of whom have known no other country, give them a chance to be here legally, to be a part of America.
And like many other issues, and let's be clear about this, the American people support the Dreamers. It is only the extreme right wing and their anti-immigrant vision who are opposed to making sure that these young people who have...
This is a Fox 10 News Alert.
All right, folks, we are taking you out live right now to this car fire. It's on the US 60. This is right by the Superstition exit here. You can see that there are crews there right now, but that is fully engulfed car fire right now in the US 60 near Superstition. You're watching live here for this breaking news alert. So as we take a look at this, we're hoping that the driver was able to get out of the car safely there and was able to go to an area that is away from all the smoke right here. But you can see traffic still going smoothly at this time. Probably be different in about an hour from now. All right, folks, and thanks to everyone joining us here on Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live. Let us know where you are watching from as we're taking you to this news alert. Car fire on US 60 eastbound, just near the Superstition Springs Boulevard exit. Lucky thing here, though, is that the car was able to head on over to the shoulder. Right now, no blockages being reported by ADOT. And we're about an hour away from the rush hour traffic, maybe 30 minutes even. Sometimes it starts a little bit earlier here in Arizona compared to other places. Still no word yet on any injuries associated with this fire. And thanks to everybody for checking in right now. We're seeing you, everybody watching from not only here in Arizona, but from Wichita, Kansas, California, Florida, everybody checking in right now. Tennessee, worldwide stream here. Thank you so much. And you can see, luckily, right now, for the people that are commuting, still no stoppages here on the US 60, but still this car fully engulfed right now. And we're just seeing the fire truck pull up here, so it's going to be a matter of time before they get it all out. But wow, it is torched. Yeah, you're getting a different look here as the ADOT camera showing you really no traffic backups at all. So that's a good thing here. The only unfortunate problem is for that driver of that car. It's a goner. But hopefully the first responders stay safe as they put this fire out. And you can see already the white smoke. That's a good sign. And they are just be a matter of time here. Another fire truck pulling up. A lot of white smoke now. Good job by the Mesa Fire Department and other agencies coming on in. As soon as they got there, boy, about 30 seconds later, this thing was out. Thanks to all our viewers right now watching on fox10phoenix.com or Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live. You can see here there once was a car fire right here on the US 60, but just moments ago, fire department crews were able to put it out. Now a lot of white smoke here, and that might cause some backups now, especially if that smoke does drift into the lanes there. On the US 60 eastbound, this is just near the Superstition Springs Boulevard exit in Mesa. Thanks to everybody for joining us here. Once was a car fire on the US 60 on the eastbound side, but crews were able to get it out really fast. As soon as they arrived, they knocked it down within about 20 seconds there. And you saw it all right here on News Now, or either on fox10phoenix.com or on our Facebook Live. Remember, when there's breaking news, not only just here in Arizona, but maybe all over the country, if it's happening, good chances we're streaming it. And thanks so much for joining us here on Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live. For more news and updates, always head on over fox10phoenix.com. All right, folks, and we will get you to some of the top stories here of the day.
The Santa Ana winds are still moving quickly here in Southern California, helping to spread the fires that have already forced hundreds of thousands of people to evacuate.
Been here all my life, and to see this happen right now, it's crazy.
The Thomas Fire, the largest and most destructive of the California wildfires, has burned through dozens of square miles, destroying hundreds of homes and other structures, and prompting evacuations all the way to the Pacific. Efforts to contain it have been hindered by the strong winds, which have grounded water-dropping planes and helicopters over the last 2 days.
So a combination of those gusty Santa Ana winds and the very low relative humidity led to explosive fire growth, which you see now.
Hundreds of thousands of people remain under mandatory evacuation orders, mostly in and around Los Angeles, Santa Paula, and Ventura, as thousands of firefighters work to contain both the Thomas Fire and the Creek Fire burning just north of Los Angeles. Meanwhile, thousands more are in danger from the smoke now choking the air. Doctors say children, the elderly, and those with asthma are most at risk.
Smoke often contains fine particles that can penetrate pretty deeply into the lungs, and that can lead to respiratory problems.
And crews aren't expecting much help from the weather tomorrow. The winds are expected to continue, making it difficult for firefighters to do their jobs. In Ventura, I'm Ellison Barber, Fox News.
All right, thanks so much here, Allison. As we continue on here with News Now, we know all about if you need an emergency, you call 911. Well, what about if you could start to text 911 if you need some help? Take a look at this.
We need help, we call 911. But if you can't call, now you can text. Texting 911 is available statewide. Every county, every city now has the option.
Text to 911 will help people with a hearing loss who at times in the past have depended on friends, family members, neighbors, and even occasionally strangers to get in touch with 911 dispatch for them.
But texting for help isn't just for those who are deaf or hard of hearing. There are a number of reasons where texting might be a better option than calling 911.
There are certain emergencies where if you speak, it'll actually put you in more harm. And some of those examples are home invasions, kidnapping, violent domestics.
But just because you can now text 911 doesn't mean you should. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety makes it very clear. Call first, text if you can't.
Time is precious in an emergency, and response times could be delayed due to the amount of time it takes to send and receive texts. That is why 911 would prefer to speak with you.
It takes longer to communicate when typing than when speaking.
so emergency response time may be lengthened.
And when we tested out the system, our call from the U campus bounced to Minneapolis Dispatch, reinforcing the fact that texting your location right away is crucial. Otherwise, you're only adding to the delay.
With a new app from General Motors, you can safely order coffee from Starbucks, make a dinner reservation at TGI Fridays, book a flight on Priceline, all while you drive. If you own a 2017 or 2018 Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac, you might see a new icon on your vehicle's central computer screen labeled Marketplace that will give you access to all of the vendors GM has teamed up with. Google and Amazon continue to trade punches in an escalating public feud. Google now pulling YouTube from some Amazon devices. The move in response to Amazon refusing to sell many Google products on its website. People who own Amazon smart speakers will not be able to play YouTube audio through them. And even bigger, Google announcing that it plans to block YouTube from Amazon's Fire TV device on January 1st. And smart bags, also known as smart luggage, which generally have USB ports to charge a phone or other device, will soon be restricted on American Airlines flights. The concern is the lithium-ion batteries these smart bags contain. American will require passengers checking smart luggage batteries. If the bag will be traveling in the cabin, the battery can remain installed as long as it's turned off. Delta, Alaska Airlines, Southwest, and Continental are expected to follow suit soon. Airlines are worried that the batteries could cause a fire. That's business. For more, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm Tracy Carrasco.
All right, and we have some other business news for you. We are now learning some of the side effects of having one of the biggest Cyber Mondays on record. You know, with so many people shopping and getting what they want for their loved ones and maybe their friends for the holiday season. Well, now it's put a big strain on the mail delivering systems like UPS. Take a look at this report.
I'm standing right here in front of a UPS store on Manhattan's Fifth Avenue, where UPS is saying expect some delays for some packages this year. The company didn't seem to anticipate all of the online shopping that consumers are doing. Cyber Monday alone, $6.6 billion is what Americans spent, and that is a 17% increase over Cyber Monday from 2016. So UPS is saying it is working to resolve the issues. They should be resolved shortly. Some of the things the company is doing to meet demand, hiring 95,000 extra seasonal workers, some of whom are drivers and allowed to use their own cars to deliver packages. The company is also using 3 Boeing 747 8 Series jets. Those are the largest commercially available freight aircraft to help deliver some packages. UPS does need to up its game. If you look at statistics from Matrix, Ship Matrix, which is a software company that analyzes shipping data, parcels are delivered on time by UPS so far this season 89.2% of the time. Competitor FedEx tracking better so far this holiday season with deliveries on time 99.4% of the time. It is worth noting that UPS has a heavier load. The company has to deliver 750 million packages between Thanksgiving and Christmas. If you look to FedEx, it is only having to deliver 400 million in that same time period. Again, UPS management saying they are working it out to smooth the problems and make sure all packages arrive under the Christmas tree by December 25th. Deirdre Bolton, Fox Business.
All right, we will see if they get there on time. All right, I got one more story here for you. We're going to leave you on a sweet note here. This is from Ohio, where some Ohio police paying it forward.
There was no crime or 911 emergency. This was a house call the Stark County Sheriff's Department was more than happy to make.
How are you doing?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This reunion in Massillon between Deputy Mike Green and homeowner Erin Wise happening just days after she received the worst news possible in her life.
I need you to do the tummy.
Her 4-year-old son Tegan's cancer may be returning. He was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer just shy of his 2nd birthday and had been in remission since June of this year.
Obviously, it was devastating. You find out your child has cancer and they're telling you it's very curative, it's very curable, but you know, it does tend to come back.
On the same exact day she received the grim news about her son, Erin says she and her husband hadn't eaten all day. She came to this Chipotle in Canton where she noticed 2 sheriff's deputies behind her in line.
She didn't ask for anything in return. She had paid for the meal and was walking out.
While thanking Erin for her generosity in buying them lunch, Deputy Green and his wife Rebecca, who is a detective, would soon learn the ordeal Erin and her family were going through. The deputies decided they in turn wanted to give back to the family, but they never asked for Erin's name. Fortunately, they took this picture with her at the restaurant and posted it on the Stark County Sheriff's Facebook page in hopes of finding her. It worked, and now their gift to her.
We are going to include her entire family with what's called Shop with the Sheriff on December 16th, and that will include a breakfast with the family, and then the kids will be with Santa.
Tegan was a little camera shy during Deputy Green's visit at first, but was excited to get an inside look at his patrol car.
Isn't that sweet?
As the family awaits the test results to see if Tegan's cancer has returned, they are hoping their story inspires others to give back this holiday season, no matter the circumstances.
No matter what's going on in your world, there's always a way to pay it forward to somebody else.
Jennifer Jordan, Fox 8 News.
And isn't that true, everybody? No matter what you're going through, there's always an opportunity to pay it forward. Well, that's going to do it for us here on News Now Today. Thanks so much for joining us. We had a lot of news to cover today, including the big announcement from President Trump on the Jerusalem statement. And if you didn't get to see it, or maybe you want to see it and play it again or share it, however you like, it's on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Fox10 Phoenix. You're on it right now, so why don't you go to the video section there and you can see it, share it, and talk about it. All right, thanks so much for joining us. If you have any comments, suggestions, tweet me at Mike Page, Fox 10. And tomorrow we're going to have big news as well. Senator Franken is supposed to do an announcement of some kind. Some of you might know already what that announcement is going to all be about. Okay, that's going to do it for us here on News Now. We'll see you again tomorrow.